Welcome everybody. Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own homes. It's Wednesday again, and we're going to begin seated on our mats today, just in a comfortable position. If you have anything to elevate your hips, that might feel nice. If not, don't worry, and you can come either into a simple cross-legged position or even onto your shins. Let's just place the hands onto the earth. So maybe either side of you or in front of you. Just acknowledging the earth beneath us and the space on which we're going to practice. Honoring the earth and the unconditional support that it offers at all times, without asking anything in return. And then turn your palms upwards, so backs of the hands are resting on knees or thighs, and just have a sense of the energy in the palms of your hands. So when you reach out to shake someone's hand, which we're obviously not doing much of right now, or to touch someone on the shoulder, or maybe missing that there's this kind of tactile encounters right now, there's an energy that you will feel from that person's hand before it's even landed on you. And there's an energy field around us that we sense when someone comes a bit too close. So we can use the energy in our hands to self-heal. So we can place our hands on our own body, and it creates a circuit, a reciprocal circuit of energy, feeding energy back towards us. So if we place our hands onto our lower belly, one on top of the other, and first just sense the movement of the abdomen as you breathe. Now we're not trying to make the abdomen move, just sensing what's there. And with the hands on the lower belly, around and below the navel center, affirm to yourself, I am here. I am here. And then taking your hands onto the center of the chest, one on top of the other, around the heart space. Sensing the breath that's here. Sensing the energetic quality of your heart as it is right now. And breathing space into and around the heart. So there is room for everything. There's room for the joy, for the hope, for the grief, for the sadness, for the anticipation. And affirming to yourself, I am open. I am open. Making little cups with your hands here, sealing the palms around the eyes, sealing around the occipital bones there. No pressure on the eyeballs, there's a little bit of space there. Can you gently open your eyes or lift your eyelids into the darkness and warmth of your palms? This can be really soothing for the eyeballs. And begin to peel the fingers apart and just slowly take the hands away from the eyes. Resting the backs of the hands on the knees or thighs once more and affirming to yourself, I am awake. I am awake. Taking the hands back to the earth, again, honouring the space that you will be practicing on and honouring this body, which is your portable temple. Let's lean back and just change the cross of the legs. And having found that energy in the hands, we'll add the breath a little bit more now as you scoop and gather on the inhale. And as you exhale, palms float down. So we're going to recycle our energy back towards ourselves. Inhaling, scooping, gathering. Exhale, this energy rains down upon you and through you. Inhale, perhaps this is love energy. Exhale, or any other word that comes to mind that is nurturing, rejuvenating. So often we give more to others, more to outside situations than to ourselves. So you're just recycling this energy. Inhale, exhaling. One last time. Inhale, exhale. And taking the hands onto the floor in front of you. Maybe walk your sit bones back 1 and 2 so you stay grounded. Spreading the hands, honouring the space in which you will practice, and bowing, letting go. Letting go of any expectation you may have for this practice or on yourself. And then walking your hands back towards you. And we'll come out of this. Just swing the legs around and come over onto your hands and your knees. Wrists underneath the shoulders, hips above the knees. Press the tops of the shins, tops of the feet to the floor. Cat and cow. As you exhale, press the earth down, lift and round the spine. As you inhale, pull the hands and knees towards one another, lengthen the heart into space, broaden the sit bones. Exhale, press down and lift. Inhale, pulling the hands and knees towards one another and lengthening. One more time, exhaling. Inhaling. And then coming into a neutral spine. Bring the knees together, so legs together. Take the right hand in line with the right knee. Make sure you've got enough mat behind you so that when you extend your left leg, the toes are tucking on the mat. So you bring your left foot to the floor, ground the whole of the foot, and let your right shin kick back. Sweep the left arm forward towards the short edge of the mat, and then spin your heart underneath as the arm arrives over by the cheek. Shrug the shoulder blades down the back and soften your right elbow a little so you're not jamming into that joint. And anchor to the outer edge of your left foot. Bring the base of your skull in line with your tailbone. As you exhale, could you lift up your left leg? Arm comes onto the top edge of the body. You see the ankle. And as you inhale, foot comes to the floor and the arm comes up and over. So you're stretching like a piece of elastic and then recoiling back. Exhale. And comes onto the top edge of the body. Inhaling. Arm comes up and over. Exhale. Inhaling. Lovely. Keeping the arm where it is, so it's over by the cheek, perhaps the leg rises. You're trying to find a long top edge to your body. Place the left foot back to the floor, and perhaps you can lift your right shin off and tuck the toes towards the inner knee. You may need to make a little shuffle, a little adjustment there. It may not happen. Take the shin back to the floor, square yourself towards the top edge of the mat. Keep the left leg extended, so you're just going to swivel around there and slide your right leg back into a high plank. Lift your inner thighs, keep the base of your skull lifted. Lower your knees. Lift your hips a little, chest and chin as you dive forward. And slide the belly and the legs away from you. As you lengthen the toes, tuck your chin in to avoid the nose and place the forehead to the floor. Press the tops of the feet to the earth so the knees lift. And open the arms out into an aeroplane position. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let the chest, arms and head float off. Release down on the inhale. So we'll do that 2 more times. Exhaling. Inhaling. 1 more time. Take the thumbs underneath the shoulders. Push back up onto your hands and your knees. Tuck your toes. Float your knees off the floor and unfold from the tailbones. The tailbone leads the way into your first down dog. And you might keep the knees bent here, the elbows may be bent. Lengthen the heels towards the back of the mat. Just feeling into the alignment of your spine. If you're very flexible, you may want to be gathering the lower ribs up. You're trying to find that extension from the base of the spine, from that pelvic tilt. And bending the knees can help you to find this. Lower your knees to the floor, keep your toes tucked, come and sit back onto the heels. Lift your fingers off the floor so your hands are like 2 little stop signs. So you're just balancing on the inner wrists. Place the hands back down and come back up onto hands and knees. And bring your knees together here, flatten the feet. Take your left hand in line with the left knee. Extend your right leg out behind you, tucking the toes. And as you bring the right foot to the floor, let your left shin slide back. Let your right arm reach over by your cheek and open up the chest. Base of the skull in line with your tailbone. Just check out that your left hand is spread and the left elbow is not locking. As you exhale, float the right leg up, bring the arm onto the top edge of the body. So there's a shortening. And then a lengthening as you inhale. Just feeling that viscoelastic quality of the fascia, which brings you back into shape and then enables you to reach out more. 1 more time. Exhaling. Inhaling. Keep the arm where it is. Draw the shoulder blade down the back and maybe float the right leg off again. So you have this long top edge to your body. Take the right foot back to the floor. Engage your core. You might need to adjust your left hand. You're going to pick the left toes towards the inner knee. Take the shin back to the floor. Swivel yourself back around towards the front. Right leg stays extended, toes tucked. Slide the left leg back into a high plank. Lower your knees. Lift your hips. Chest and chin as you exhale. Slide the belly and the legs away from you. Release the toes. Open the arms out into an aeroplane position. Maybe this time the chest, arms, head and legs float off on the exhale. Inhale, release down. Land lightly. Exhale, float up. Inhale, land. 1 more time. Exhale. Stay here. Take the thumbs underneath the shoulders. Hands to the floor. Rock up a little higher in your Bhujangasana. And then lift, tucking your toes, lifting your knees, and unfolding into your down dog. Maybe the legs straighten a little bit more now. Couple of breaths here. Just allowing the spine to be malleable. Crown of the head, the top of the spine. So the head isn't dipping too much or lifting too much. Let's step the feet together here, sealing the inner legs. Sink your left heel and float your right leg up behind you. It doesn't have to be high, keep it nice and long. Bend the knee through and step the right foot in between the hands. Lower your back knee down onto the earth. Walking your hands back underneath the shoulders, lift your front toes as you exhale. As you come back onto the foot, can you flip over the fingers onto the backs of the hands, so you perhaps get a little stretch with the wrists. Exhale, maybe palms come down, toes lift. Inhale, flipping over the fingers, little stretch for the wrists. And again, exhaling. Inhaling. Plant the palms again either side of the front foot. Lift the back knee. Step back into a high plank. Can we take a 2-inch press up? Exhale. Inhale. Bend the knees, they don't quite touch. Exhale. And lift your tailbone belly to thighs. Half down dog. One more time. Dive away from the balls of your feet into plank. Maybe a 2-inch press up. Push that up. Bend the knees. Half down dog. Dive into your plank. Lower your knees. Chest and chin. Slide forward this time. The heart extends into space. Lift the navel. Tuck toes. Lead with your tailbone. Maybe extend the legs. Feel the breath and how it provides a little pulse here. So it lifts you a little on the inhale and delivers you back to the earth on the exhale. Step the feet together. Sink your right heel, lengthen your left leg up behind you. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands and lower your back knee down. Walk your hands back as you lift the front toes, exhale. Inhale, come forward, flip over onto the backs of the hands. Exhaling, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, perhaps there's a little stretch for the wrists, not too much pressure there. So your core is helping you to move and transition with grace and ease. Turn the palms so the fingers are in line with the front toes, lift the back knee, step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin as you exhale. Inhale, glide through, lengthen toes, chin to chest. Lift the navel, tuck the toes, and lead with your tailbone as you unfold. Let's walk the feet forward towards the backs of the wrists. Let yourself hang here for a moment. Soften the knees. Fingertips at least on the floor. So bend your knees as much as you need to have that little bit of support here. And let your head go. Maybe nod and shake your head. Snuggle the skin of the feet into the earth. And then turning the palms upwards, we're going to do that same scooping action. Reach the arms forward as you come up with a flat back. Inhale. And as you exhale, recycle, rain all of that energy down around you and through you. Inhaling, gathering. Exhaling, raining all of that energy around and through you. Inhaling. Exhaling, we're folding this time and taking the fingertips to the earth. Maybe outside of the feet this time. Lift and lengthen your heart so you pull against the earth with the tips of the fingers. And then step back with your left toes into your lunge. So we're going to do a little bit of stabilizing here. Take the right first finger and thumb around the calf muscle and hug the right elbow in here. And we're keeping the knee above the ankle and the thigh bone perpendicular to the floor. So it acts like a brace. I'm going to come a little bit closer and just show you that. So the leg's going to be in a 90-degree angle, and you're going to brace it this way with the elbow hugging in. Yeah, just to hold the leg that way in your lunge. So we're here, the leg's not moving. Press down through the feet, lift and round a little, exhale. As you inhale, switch the right hand to the front of the shin. Pull the shin back and lengthen the heart. So it might be a very small movement. Hand to the back of the calf. Exhale, lift and round. So this is to stabilize. Hand to the front of the shin and lengthen. One more time. Exhale. Hand onto the front of the shin. Lengthen. It's quite hard work. Take the right hand to the inside of the foot. Walk yourself around into Prasarita. Spin the heels in a little bit. Bend your knees, coming into a wide squat, and take the hands onto the ankles. Using your thumbs to lift the inner ankle bones up and away, and the forearms and elbows inside the shins. Again, a little round here from the navel as you exhale, and as you inhale, extend. Might be quite a small movement. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. Take the fingertips back to the floor. Spin your heels out. Ooh. Let those thigh muscles release. Crown of the head moves towards the earth. And you can have the knees bent. Feet are about 3 to 5 feet away from one another. So you'll have a different experience depending on the distance of your feet away from one another. That whole wealth of sensation and experience between 3 and 5 feet. Let's walk ourselves back towards the right foot and spring the back foot forward to fold. So the feet are going to be hip distance apart, front of your mat. Turn the palms up, scoop as you inhale. Exhale, the arms float down. Shower yourself with energy around and through the body. One more time. Inhale, gathering and pouring all this love energy back around you as you float towards the earth, fingertips to the floor. Lift and lengthen your spine. Step back with your right toes. Find your lunge where your left thigh bone is parallel to the floor. You've got a 90-degree angle in the back of the knee joint. The knee is above the ankle. And then take your left hand around the back of the calf muscle and hug the elbow in. So you're kind of bracing that leg. You're holding it as it is. Lift and round. Exhale. Press the feet down and pull them towards one another. And then inhale, press them away and lengthen. Exhale, lift and round. Imagine you're trying to suck your feet towards one another. And then extend. Exhaling. And what I didn't do is take the hand onto the front of the shin and lengthen. So that's quite useful. Take the left hand to the inside of the foot. Walk yourself around into your wide-legged fold. I'm just going to turn around so you don't have to see the back of me. Spin your heels in, bend your knees again. This time walk your hands onto your thighs. They're about halfway, so halfway between your knees and your hips. Press and ground through the legs so the shoulders come up by your ears and the body is angling forward a little bit. And then lift the inner ankle bend. So you're kind of stacking yourself. But there's a real sense of stability and connection to the earth. There's also a little bit of decompression to the lower back. Release the fingertips to the floor. Spin your heels out. Let yourself hang. Soften the knees. Maybe turn your head from side to side. walking yourself around towards your left foot. And glide your back foot forward, feet are hip distance apart. Let yourself hang. Turn your palms up. Scooping the energy as you rise. Inhale, exhale. Palms float down. So as you inhale, you're going to float your left knee up. So like your hands and knee were on a string, like a marionette, like a puppet, and then bend. Right knee, inhale. There's a little cycling back, also with the heel. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Left knee. As you take it back into a lunge, slide the hands down the outside or back of your skull, down your shoulders, and then down the outside of your body as you reach back. So you're coming over here. You're just kind of brushing your personal space, your energetic space. Coming up again, floating the palms forward, gather, inhale. Hands drift just behind the base of the skull, towards the shoulders. Back heel comes down and the arms open into a warrior two. Right knee is bent. Raise up your right arm, lean back, inhale. Exhale, right forearm onto the thigh and the left arm sweeps open by the cheek. Reach your left arm back again. Exhale. And inhale, circle the arm. Let the arm this time take you all the way up. Reverse warrior again. Straighten up your right knee, turning the toes in. Left hand slips onto the sacrum, the right fingertips come to the floor. Equal distance between your two big toes. Reach the crown of the head forward, soften the backs of the knees, and the twist already starts to happen from the length and the spaces you create between the vertebral bones. Just a transition through here. And then release the fingertips to the floor. Good. Wiggle your feet a little bit closer. So more towards the 3 foot than the 5 foot. And see if you can come up onto the balls of your feet. So this pose is called Around the World. You might want to have a little look before you go. I'm going to walk our fingers around towards the right and let the balls of the feet swivel. You're going to face the back of your mat or the opposite edge of your mat. And you'll end up with your right leg crossed over your left, maybe on the outer edges of your feet. And it's quite a strong stretch through the outer hips and glutes and IT band here. Bend the knees if you need to. And then there's only really one way to come out of this, and that's back the way you came as you walk your hands all the way around. Toes point forward and let yourself hang again. Let's come back to the right foot into the lunge. Maybe a vinyasa, so step back into a high plank, could be chaturanga up dog or knees, chest and chin. Glide through as the toes lengthen, the chin tucks in. Lift the navel, tuck the toes. Lead with your tailbone, downward facing dog. Step the feet together, sealing the legs. Sink your left heel and your right leg floats up behind you. Bend the knee through and step the foot in between the hands. Glide your back foot forward to fold, feet are hip distance apart. Turn the palms up as you come all the way up. And as you exhale, the palms float down. Inhaling, gathering, and the right knee floats up. Foot to the floor, little bend, yield. Inhale. Recycling back towards you, exhale. Right knee, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Right knee, step it back, hands come behind the back of the skull, down the side of the body, anchor to the ball of your back foot, palms face one another as you come over. Palms face up as you gather again, inhale. Hands come around the back of the skull, so trace the energetic layer of your body. Open the arms into your warrior two. Left arm rises as you inhale. Exhale, forearm onto thigh, and sweep the arm by the cheek. Parsvakonasana is a long top edge to your body here. Right arm reaches back and it circles again as you inhale. The arm carries you up and into your reverse warrior once again. Straighten up the left knee as you turn the toes in. Right hand slips onto the sacrum. Float the fingertips to the floor. Equal distance between your two big toes. Reach the crown of the head forward. Lift out of that left shoulder and then you can start to twist. And the hand here is just to feel if the hips have come out of alignment. Release your right fingertips to the floor. Spine is extended. Maybe wiggle the feet closer towards the 3 foot than the 5 foot variation. And rise up onto the balls of your feet. Let's walk our hands over towards the left, so we're coming back into around the world. So you're going to face the back. Left leg is over. Coming onto the outer edges of your feet. I'm just going to show you this way too. I'm sure you're doing great. Knees can be bent. A couple of breaths if you can. And then only one way out of this. You go back the way you came. Letting yourself hang here. And then over towards your left foot, into a lunge. Step back into your high plank vinyasa of your choice or no vinyasa. You can always lower the knees. Take a little child's pose and back into a down dog. Stepping the feet together. Sink your right heel, lengthen your left leg up behind you. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands. Glide your back foot forward, feet to hip distance apart. Turn the palms up as you come all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, the palms flow down. Inhaling, left knee rises. Exhale, take the toes to the floor. Shave the back of the head, down by the side of the body and reach back. Maybe you're going to interlace the fingers here and spin your back heel in and down so there's a bit more stability. It's more of a warrior, or is a warrior one stance. And then lift your shoulders over, bring your belly, rib cage and shoulder inside your knee for a humble warrior. There's an opening in the elbows here if the shoulders still stay full tight. Curl your right sit bone towards your left toes. Let the head go. Coming up about halfway with the shoulders here. Release the interlace. And as you brush the palms forward and up again, swivel up the back heel. Hands trace behind the back of the skull, over the shoulders, open up into a warrior two. Left hand to the thigh, right arm rises, inhale. Exhale, you can come back onto the thigh or fingers to the floor inside of the foot. Left arm's going to sweep, and this time it's just going to rise vertically. So high or low, Parsvakonasana. Reach back, exhale. Inhale, the arm circles. As the arm reaches vertical, maybe the right leg straightens. So you're moving from Parsvakonasana into Trikonasana. Bend the knee, sweep the arm. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhaling. Inhaling. Holding it here or taking the hand onto the shin and sucking up a little bit. That feels a little bit more stable and light. Expanding out in all directions. And coming all the way up. A little straight leg reverse warrior. So right arm up by the ear. And then windmilling the arms either side of that front foot. Step back into a high plank, vinyasa or no vinyasa. And we'll meet each other back in our downward facing dog. Step the feet together, seal the legs. Sink your left heel, lengthen your right leg up behind you, bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands. Glide your back foot forward to fold. Turn the palms up, come all the way up to standing. And just float the palms down, let that love energy float all around you, all through you. Inhale, palms facing upright, knee rises. Take the toes to the floor behind you. Shade the back of the skull down the sides of the body. Bring your back heel in and down, so find your warrior one stance. You could interlace the fingers. Lift the shoulders slightly inside so that the belly and the rib cage come inside of the knee. Glide your left sit bone towards your right toes so you're not losing the shape of your legs. And keep the palms and elbows open if you need to for your shoulders. Humble warrior. Lift your shoulders square over the front knee. Release the interlace, maybe swivel up the back heel. Brush the arms up once again as you inhale. Hands come around the back of the skull and open up into your warrior two. Left arm lifts, reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, fingertips to the floor, or you can come back onto your thigh. Circle the arm back as you exhale. And as you inhale, maybe you're straightening your front leg. Trikonasana. Exhale, bend the knee, sweep the arm, let the arm carry this up as if you're sucking up to the bone marrow of your legs. Exhale. Inhaling, maybe the hand slides up the shin, opening out. So you might come a little higher so as to bring the front and the back body into alignment. Coming up, little straight leg reverse warrior, root down through both legs, windmill the arms either side of that front foot, swivel up, step back into a high plank, your choice of vinyasa or no vinyasa. You could just lift into a down dog here. Let's step the feet together, sink your right heel, lengthen your left toes up behind you. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands and glide your back foot forward to fold. Turning the palms up, brush the arms up as you inhale, exhale, floating the palms down. Just as we've been doing, inhale, the left knee rises. Maybe you're going to take this, the hands around the back of the skull, down the side of the body, into a warrior three. And you could bend your supporting leg here to help square the hips. Stepping back, floating the palms up as you inhale. And exhale, planting the palms down to the earth. Step back into a downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Bring the shins together and flatten your feet. Draw the shoulder blades up the back. Lift your left toes, knees on the floor for a moment, and then imagine you're trying to pierce the clouds with the toes as the leg comes up, the knee stays bent. Cross the left thigh behind so the knee comes to the floor. Separate the feet enough so you might walk yourself back to sit in between the heels. So it's the same, targeting the same IT band outer hips that we did in our around the world pose. So hopefully you're going to have your right knee in front. Now this might not be comfortable without a prop, so if you can place a block or a cushion underneath your hips if you need to, or extend the bottom leg, so you just have a half pose here, Ardha Gomukhasana. The knees are stacking one on top of the other, and there's various places we can move our feet to. Today we're just going to have the heels quite close towards the hips. So give yourself a few more moments. Grab a hold of your feet and notice what it feels like to be holding the opposite foot in each hand. It's a really nice place just to give a little bit of pressure down through that big plantar fascia, that big ligament that gets quite tight through the sole of the foot. And then the heels of the hands can move into the arches of the feet. And as you smooth the hands down towards the balls of the feet, you might lift the hips a little or lift the sit bones, snuggle the inner thighs a little closer, and then place the sit bones back down. Take one hand on top of the other just below the knee and let your spine move back a little bit as if it were resting on the wall behind you. Notice if you've got any gripping happening in your jaw. The jaw and the hips are intrinsically linked. And this feels quite like a locked pose, a locked position. Just a couple more breaths. Make our way out of this. So coming forward, take the hands to the floor. If you can lift yourself up onto your shins, turn around again. So you've still got your right knee over the top. Lift up, pierce the sky again with your left toes and swivel the right toes behind the knee. Organize your hands here in the knowledge that you're going to attempt to come into a down dog. Tuck your right toes. And as you lift up, you're going to pierce the sky with your left toes. Maybe you're sinking your right heel and walking your hands back towards your feet. So coming towards the back of your mat in a standing split. Hands can come outside. Leg doesn't have to be high. I'm letting my hip lift a little bit here. Forehead towards the shin. Look forward along the mat, walking your hands back into a three-legged dog. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands, and glide your back foot forward to fold. Turn the palms up. Take an inhale as you come all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, rain that energy around and through you. Take an inhale, right knee rises. Hands are going to come across or around the back of the skull, down the sides of the body as you move towards a warrior three, bent or straight supporting leg. Step back into your lunge. Brushing the palms upwards, gathering inhale, and then exhale, palms come to the floor. Step back into your downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Flatten the feet and bring the shins together. Lifting up your right toes, pierce the sky. Cross the right thigh behind And when the knee comes to the floor, walk the feet forward enough so that you can start to walk back. So we're not sitting on the feet here. And you may want to place something underneath both sit bones here, if this is too much. Or again, you can extend the bottom leg, and this can be a half pose. Yeah. Now we need to give ourselves possibly a little bit of time to settle here, pulling the heels in towards the outer hips, and maybe taking the thumbs onto the center of each foot, or just giving these feet a little bit of a squeeze. And then the heels of the hands are going to come into the arches of the feet, a little bit of pressure down, and a movement, a kind of a sweeping movement towards the balls of your feet. Perhaps the sit bones lift and you squeeze the thighs a little bit more in, and then you can settle down again. Take the hands one on top of the other, just below the knee. And imagine your spine is leaning into the wall behind you. Relax the jaw. You could close the eyes or take your gaze downwards towards the floor in front of you. Just one or two more breaths. Make our way out of this. Shifting the weight forward onto your hands. I'm going to turn around sideways again. You're going to have your left thigh over, hopefully. Reach your right toes up. Tuck in your left toes. Lift the knee and fold both legs. I had to do a little hop there into a three-legged dog. Walking the hands back towards the foot. So you arrive in a standing split, maybe fingertips either side of the toes, or head towards the shin. Looking forward along the mat as you walk your hands back into a three-legged dog. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands. Left foot comes forward, turn the palms up, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, fold, take the hands to the floor. Step back into a downward facing dog. Lower the knees to the floor, flatten the feet, big toes to touch, bow. Child's pose of your choice. Find an arm position where your shoulders can spread and your elbows release. Start to curl your tailbone, lift your navel, coming all the way up to sit on your heels. And bringing the knees together, sinking the hips to one side so you can stretch your legs out in front of you. So bending up your left knee, placing the foot to the floor so the heel is quite close towards the sit bone. And then you're going to turn that whole leg, hip, knee and toes out. Yeah. Right hand onto the ankle, left hand onto the front of the knee. Lift yourself tall and maybe you're going to take this right leg out. Move towards the front of the sit bone. So you're kind of hugging in here. Take a little twist towards the knee. Have an awareness of the leg that you're not looking at. So your right leg lengthening from sit bone all the way through to the heel. You might let that knee drop out a little bit and take the left hand onto the inner knee. So you kind of lean over your straight leg. You could go further here and reach the left arm up, maybe over, reaching towards your right toes. And all the way back up here. Just bringing that knee in, bringing the legs a little closer, but you've got a hand's distance between your inner foot and your inner thigh here. Right thumb comes behind you. Left arm rises by the ear, and you're going to take a little open twist. You twist inside, maybe shoulder, upper arm inside the knee. Using those back fingers to bring a lift to the spine. A little internal rotation in the tops of your thighs. Float yourself around to take a hold of the knee. Maybe lift the foot off, squeeze the thigh slightly outside of the body, and then release the leg away. Bending up your right knee, heel quite close to the sit bone. Right hand onto the knee, left hand onto the ankle. Take the leg out, and the other leg out a little bit. Not so much that you're collapsing or kind of rolling towards your tailbone. There's a movement towards the fronts of the sit bones. And then you're going to twist towards the knee. Have an awareness of the extended leg. Maybe the right hand comes onto the inner knee. You kind of lean away a little bit. Or the right arm reaches up and over. Couple of breaths. Never really static. All these little micro movements towards length and space. Not necessarily more depth or more intensity. And coming out of this, bring that straight leg in, bring the right foot in about a hand's distance between the inner foot and the thigh. Left thumb behind you, right arm reaches up, twisting, the upper arm comes inside of the knee, lifting the spine. Find that balance between too much or too little effort here. And then spiraling back, holding onto the knee, hug the thigh outside of the body and stretch the leg forward. Move the flesh of the buttocks out of the way. So reaching your arms up as you inhale. Exhale, come forward a little bit. Inhale, imagine I'm holding on to your hands and I'm lifting you up. So you're stretching out of your lower back. Inhale, exhale, come forward a little bit more. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, hands can float onto the shins or ankles. You can stay here. Or you might come a little bit further, maybe even allowing the upper back, head and neck to release. Breathing here. As we stretch into the cranial and sacral nerves, or we stimulate the cranial and sacral nerves, we activate the parasympathetic activity of the body. So this pose can be quite calming. Of course, the talking of the hamstrings may keep this alert and calming. We're just going to have the hands on the floor or on the legs to slowly come out of this. And maybe give your thighs a little squeeze on the way up. Lovely. Hands back to the floor. Move your sit bones towards your heels and make your way down onto your back. Open the arms into a T shape. Bring the feet together. Cross the right thigh over the left. And drop your knees to the left. If this feels already like it's going to be too much as you come into it for the lower back, just unwind the legs and stack knee on top of knee. So it could just be a simple twist there. Your right shoulder feels uncomfortable. Bring it further down by the side of your body. Your left hand could rest on the left thigh if you wish. Placing the left hand back of the hand onto the floor to help you come back up out of this. We're just going to change the legs here. So feet together. Move your hips to the center if you need to, so you start symmetrical. Left thigh comes over. Knees drop over to the right. Maybe the left hand comes onto the thigh. The right arm can come further down your body. Couple of breaths here. If it's too much, unwind the legs. Stack one knee on top of the other. And back to the center. Unwind your legs. So you could choose to wiggle your feet nice and wide, let the knees drop in to touch one another. This could be your final pose. Or your more familiar Shavasana with the legs extended. And just snuggle yourself down, make yourself about 5% more comfortable. Softening, releasing, letting go. And falling into the support of the earth. Just 1 minute here. So you may rest in Shavasana a little longer. Or join me to conclude the practice. Taking a few deeper breaths and stretching out your fingers and toes, or indeed your whole body. You could reach your arms back, stretch out, and maybe hug your knees towards you. And keeping your eyes closed, make your way slowly over to the right side. and back to a comfortable seat. Eyes still closed. Place the hands onto the floor around you, just acknowledging the surface of the earth that you've been practicing on. Take your hands to your lower belly and feel the breath that's there. Affirming to yourself, I am here. Take the hands onto the center of the chest, feeling the breath that's here. And affirming to yourself, I am open. Cup your hands around the orbits of your eyes. And open your eyes into the warmth and darkness of your palms. Start to keep open the fingers, gently prizing the hands away. And as the backs of the hands come onto the knees or thighs, affirming to yourself, I am awake. Namaste, everybody. Have a really lovely afternoon. Take care. I'll be here next week.